Hey guys, hey, it's Heavy T here. I just wanted to, a couple of things go over today. A few different things actually. First thing I wanted to do is I wanted to say thank you guys. The other day, 3 or 4 days ago, I was having a very extremely difficult day. I'm still having, the same problems, but it was really overwhelming. I was being psychically attacked, viciously. And your guys' prayers and your advice and everything, it really helped me out a lot. And in the position that I'm in, when I can't even talk to my family members about this stuff. It's just, you guys, I don't even know you guys hardly, and you guys really helped me out, and I just wanted to say thank you. And if you guys ever need anything, please don't hesitate to call me, or, well, if you can get a hold of me. I doubt, right now you can't probably get a hold of me. The gal that was really trying to get a hold of me, telling me to comment back, or trying to tell me to contact you or call you, I couldn't call you. I gave you my email address. I think you probably tried to contact me by email, but it never got through. I looked and it never came through, so they blocked it. If you did try, I really appreciate that very much. You were really trying to help me. Just all you guys, you guys know who you are. It meant a lot, so I really appreciate it. Second thing, I got some good news. I was actually able to, I had a recorder that disappeared. Wow, amazing, huh? Nobody's been our house has not been empty, okay? It disappeared for about a week out of my backpack. And then it mysteriously reappeared under our staircase. So I pulled apart my silver one, as you guys know, and I found some bugs in it. And I'll probably document that one too. I would like to get both of them documented. So I can't remember if I did document that one or not. I'll have to check and see, but I pulled apart this black one. Now this is another digital recorder. It's a little bit older. It's never been taken apart. And I noticed, when I looked at it, I noticed that the screw had been, like somebody had used a screwdriver on it, on the screw, because it wasn't clean. It had a little bit of a scuff on it. So I was like, wow, somebody pulled this thing apart. So I pulled it apart, and I found a lot of stuff on it. I found bugs, I found marks, I've got a lot of different physical evidence here that's very incriminating, and in fact I've got a fingerprint too. There was actually a fingerprint that was on this glass here from the person that actually pulled this thing apart. So whatever buffoon they hired to do this, obviously they should probably take some classes in counterintelligence and find out what people are going to do to find out what mistakes they make. So they weren't too bright, let's put it that way. But how many of these gang stalkers are bright, right? Anyway, I'm going to show you all these mistakes real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the phone here, make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. So what I did is I took it apart, and as you can see, it's fairly standard as a Sony. And the first thing that you're going to see on it is you're going to see this stuff here. Now, this is that black goo stuff that I had on my remote control as well. And the interesting thing about the black goo stuff is it's like a clear type of plastic stuff that you'll see. I'm trying to focus my phone here. I'm having a little bit of a tough time here. Let me see. I'm gonna, oh wait, there we go. Now I can see a little bit better. I'm just trying to focus it for you guys. So this stuff, the wires are connected to this. Okay, now this is like that black stuff where this stuff is like a neurosense transmitter, I believe. It's like a neurosense technology. It's a new technology that they use. Some people think it's linked to the black goo. The black goo is actually alive. It actually has a life force to it. I don't believe this is the same type of stuff, because it would be moving if it was the real black goo that would be alive. So I think it's similar to it. It has properties of it, kind of in a little bit of a way, but it's more of a technology that if they put it on something, they can actually manipulate things. So if they put this on these wires, they can manipulate anything on those wires. Okay, and as you can see, the manufacturer, I doubt, put this stuff on there. And it could be something that I'm missing. Maybe it is something. I didn't see it being used on this recorder, okay? And it didn't show me every part of the recorder though. But I saw nothing of this substance. Now underneath it, you can see where they cut. They cut this Velcro thing. This is basically, it helps keep the sound in. The speaker's on the other side, okay? That's what puts the sound out. It's basically your output, okay? You can see where they cut right here. And the cuts, you can see how jagged they are. So these aren't clean cuts. So somebody manipulated this. They cut these off, put the wires on this, and they left it, okay? The second thing that you're gonna see, it's very sloppy. These guys, whoever did this is a moron. Let's put it that way. They don't know what they're doing. The second thing you're gonna see is they're on these screws, and I think somebody told them what to do, because these screws have these purple marks on them. Somebody took a purple marker, marked it on the bottom one in between these wires here. They put purple mark here, right? Over here on the circuit board, you'll see another purple mark. You'll see another purple mark right here. So somebody was telling them, marking this stuff and telling them, you know, what to do, what screws to take out, and kind of giving them some advice on how to take this thing apart. Another thing you're going to see, I don't know if I can get it in the light, there's another mark where basically the sound comes in. So on the, let me get this thing up enough. So right there, you see that mark on the very end? Get my screwdriver out of the way. Okay, so you see that, you see the little screen, okay, that's where the speaker goes in, okay? And you see there's a little mark, a little purple mark under there, okay? There's another one right there. So they were telling them that's where the speaker probably comes out, that's where the sound comes in, excuse me. And then the last but not least, you will see there's also another screw marked with a purple marker right here, okay? Now keep in mind, remember the color purple, because I'm going to show you something here in a couple seconds, which is probably going to be the nail in the coffin on it. Now there was two pieces of tape. Now a manufacturer is not going to put a piece of an electrical tape like this that has sand and debris on it. So this buffoon that did this, obviously they cut the piece of electrical tape and they probably dropped it on the floorboard of the vehicle they were in, or something like that, to that effect, because all this stuff is sticking to it. My dog's barking. I'm going to put a pause on it. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry guys. Somebody was knocking at the door. It happened to be my mother coming home to change her shoes. So anyway, where I was at, showing you the marks. So just remember the color purple, because it's going to be important here in a few minutes. And then I was showing you the tape. Okay, so the person that was doing this obviously dropped this piece of electrical tape where they were working on this, and it stuck and picked up a bunch of debris. Well, they still used it, okay? Now, this electrical tape, I'm going to show you where it was located. And remember, this isn't just sand on here. There's actual fibers, okay? So it gives us a lot of evidence. Probably what's sticking to this is probably the most incriminating evidence out of it all, because it can tell us location. 100%, because the fibers will match the location fibers on furniture, carpet, wherever it was at. So we can figure out exactly who was doing it, where it was being done at, with this evidence, with this piece of tape right here, okay? And you know, you guys, I encourage you guys, if you guys had devices that have disappeared and stuff, you might do the same thing. You might pull them apart and see, you know, you'll see this kind of stuff, because whoever, I don't know who's training these morons, but maybe it's Dr. Seuss or something, or maybe Mickey Mouse is doing it. Who knows? You know, the Illuminati got Mickey Mouse. Maybe Mickey Mouse is helping them out on it. Who knows for sure? But anyway, so this electrical tape was right there. Was right on the side, right here, over this wire. Okay. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm not an electronics expert. I know, you know, a little bit about electronics. I'm fairly hands-on with it, but I don't know exactly why it was covering that right now. But it was over this where it was sitting, where I just showed you. Now this piece of wire, now this is called banding, or this piece of tape is called banding tape. Banding tape has, it basically has little, it has like what do you call it, strings that actually help it to hold it together better. It's a lot stronger type of tape. Now this was sitting right here. Whoops, sorry. Sitting right on top of these two wires, okay? Like this. Okay, and if you notice, what does it have on it? Wow, another purple mark. So this must be, they must have marked this and said, this is the tape to put there, okay? Or whatever. But like I said, I've never pulled this thing apart. I didn't do this. I can verify the witnesses in my household didn't do this. And so we know somebody did this. So we know somebody tampered with this recorder. There's no doubt about it, okay? Because the manufacturer's not going to leave all that stuff. They're not going to put electrical tape in the inside of that. And especially Sony. I think the people would probably get fired pretty quick if they did that kind of stuff. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. And so what we get from the tape, we have fibers. We've got, you know, locations, possible locations. Who knows? There could be pet fibers hair on there. There could be, you know, forensics can go through this with a fine-tooth comb and they can pull a lot out of this thing, these pieces of tape, because they got a lot of stuff sticking to them, a lot of elements sticking to them. So whoever did this, they effed up big time, because now I got a location. You know, I can find out where they did it at. So the other thing is on this glass right here, on this glass, it's really hard to see. I don't think you can see it with this recorder because it's really light. I have a fingerprint. You can kind of see it on the metal a little bit. But I've got a fingerprint that goes on top of this glass. So somebody put their finger on there and gave me a fingerprint. So I've also got their fingerprint. So I got the person that did it now too, okay? So I don't only got the, you know, I know the person, I know the location. Now I just have to hand out the indictment once I get it to forensics, okay? We'll indict them, get them, you know, have our attorneys come in and say, hey, you know, we'll file some charges. Put them in the jail. You know, I mean, we got to figure out what they're gonna, you know, do with them. I mean, I would say this is attempted murder, what they're doing to us. Wouldn't you guys say so? So go for murder one. You know, it's premeditated murder. You know, they're trying to kill us, trying to get us to commit suicide. You know, trying to get us to act out so we, you know, get killed by, you know, acting out against one of these people. They're destroying our mental health. I mean, there's a lot of charges that we could add to this. So, you know, if we get some indictments on some people, they start squawking, we get other people, and we just keep following the chain of command all the way up. You know, I'd like to get a couple of big fish. And once we get some big fish sitting in that booth and get some really strong, you know, litigation on them, you know, who knows what'll happen? You know, I don't know. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe maybe they'll drop it. Maybe I doubt they can. I've got more evidence than this. So anyway, I want to show you that. And last but not least, there was one more. Oh, the last piece of evidence. So just to show you guys, I put these are all marked, Exhibit AG. I've got evidence. I'm getting into double letters now. Exhibit H, this is my wife's soil in her vehicle. So I have fibers and stuff I collected and put it on electrical tape just like that piece, but it's a little bit bigger. So I've got, you know, her evidence of her vehicle, and then I've got the other vehicle that we have on another piece of tape. So, but the main thing, okay, so here's the big one. Remember the color purple, right? So I look in our drawer about 5 minutes later, because I was looking for a screwdriver, I think, and I found a purple marker, okay? That wasn't in that drawer before. Can you believe that? So I come up to my wife and I say, hey, look what I found. I found a purple marker. She goes, that's not a purple marker, that's a highlighter. And I said, whatever. It don't matter. It makes marks. So I told her, I said, okay, well, where did you get that purple marker? She said she got it from her work. She brought it home from work, okay? So we have pigmentation on the marker that we can actually use. We can actually look at this and we can actually match the tint of this color with this color. If it's an identical match, it's going to be this marker, okay? If we get that, we know pretty much that she did it. She was pissed. She wasn't very happy. So, you know, if it's your wife and you've just found a bunch of evidence on the people that are doing this shit to you, and let's say you're driving your wife crazy with this shit, she'd be happy, wouldn't she? Usually usually your spouse would be very happy. Oh, that's great, honey. She'd probably be giving you hugs and kisses. My wife wasn't doing that. She was pissed, okay? She looked kind of freaked out about it. Okay, so right there, that tells me there's something going on here, and I wouldn't doubt it if all of this comes back to her. And I hate to say that, I don't want it to be that way, but it's really looking that way, because first off, somebody had to get in our house to get it, and we've been home the whole time. I haven't had a job. I've been home all the time, so nobody's gotten past me. And this recorder took off for a while, and it came back. So somebody got in, took it somewhere, and bugged it, and did some stuff to it. And I hate to say it, but there's no one else it could be. And if it is like I said, if it is my wife, I don't think it is my wife. Let's put it that way. If it's whatever it is, I don't know what it is yet. I'm hoping maybe I'll find out eventually. But I would hate for, you know, I would hate for her to go to, you know, me to be sending my wife to prison, but I don't have a choice, you know. That's not my wife. My wife, I've been with my wife for 19 years. Okay, my wife would never act this way, ever. She would be supporting me all the way through this. We would fight tooth and nail together. So the way she's acted and all her behavior, the lying, everything is not my wife. So I've known for a while, it's just been really hard for me to accept. So I've been trying to figure out, you know, because I don't want to think my wife is a clone. I mean, I don't want to think that way. You know, it sounds crazy. And I mean, just imagine if you're in my shoes. I mean, what do you think? What do you think I should think about that? I mean, it's really difficult. So, but I can tell you, I've got fingerprints, I've got fibers, I've got soil samples, I've got tape samples. I've got a lot of evidence on this one. I'm gonna pull another piece of equipment apart here in a minute too, and I'm gonna find out what's in that. It happens to be a what was it? It was a tablet that disappeared a while back, and all of a sudden mysteriously disappeared or appeared again at our front door. It was gone for about 2 weeks. So I'm going to pull that thing apart and see what's inside that, because I think that thing's got wires in it too. So we'll see what I get from that. But I wanted to give you guys the good news on that, and like I said, I really appreciate it, guys. I'm all like giving gang stalking signs. Seems like not trying to. I'm just really hot and really happy actually. It's exciting to get this evidence. So, you know, whoever did this, they dropped it right on my lap. So it's a great find. Now I just got to get it to the State Department forensics people, and I'm going to have somebody help me. Somebody's going to already help me with that. I know who that person is. I'm not going to say it. And I've got some friends that are kind of high up in Congress too. So I'm going to go from that point and try to get it to them. So I'm going to get it to the highest levels I can and let them know what's going on with the friends I have. I've got a couple of friends actually that are in law enforcement too. And they don't work for any of these counties in here, but I know they can definitely plug me into different places. So like I said, I'm a good person, and you know, what's happening to me, you know, I've always loved this country. And you know, 20 years ago, this used to be a great country. It really was. It was a great country to be in. Yeah, we had corruption, we had problems, you know, but it wasn't like it is now. I mean, this is a little bit over the top right now. This is going way overboard, and what's happening to us is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's way past human rights violations, and it violates, I think I counted 6 different, no, it's 5 constitutional amendments it actually violates what they're doing. I actually went through and I went through the referendums, and I saw which ones they were violating. And yeah, there's like 5 or 6 in there that they're violating right now with this. And you know, nobody's doing anything. We got gang stalking, you know, up to 5 million Google searches, 5 million right now. And there hasn't been a media report on it yet that I've seen. You know, Jesse Ventura did one for one of the channels. He did a little documentary segment, and then Times had a article that they did, I think it was a couple years ago, which they blamed it all on mental illness. Now, if it's mental illness, why are 5 million people Google searching it? So this isn't something that's just normal, that's, you know, that is mental illness. If you're getting that many searches all of a sudden, there's something going on here, and they're looking the other way. And so we need to, bring attention to it and say, hey, start talking to your Congress people, when they come by your door. I had a guy come by my door the other day, that was running for one of the districts here, and I told him about it. I said, this is what's going on. I mean, and he was gonna bring it up to the next meeting. Now, I don't know if he's gonna bring it up or not, but he said he was. So, I'm just bringing as much attention to it as possible. And one way to get attention to it, let people know how many people are searching it and how many people are not covering it in our media. There's a problem there. Somebody's telling them not to do it. So there's violations in our freedom of press as well. So we really need to, just keep doing what we're doing. Don't hate these people. Don't get mad at them or angry. I still am forgiving the people that are doing this. I decided I can't fight it anymore. With what happened to me the other day, it's too much. It's too much on my shoulders. It's not a fight for me. It's a fight for my God. And my God is going to win that fight 10 times out of 10. I know that. So I don't have to worry about that fight. I just have to bring, if stuff is dropped on my lap, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to present it. I'm not going to retreat, and I'm not going to, surrender. No way. There's too many people's lives at stake right now over this, and I'm not going to do that. So just keep that in mind. Don't try to get angry. Don't try to fight this thing. And that's what I was doing. I was fighting it. And I was giving them my power because I was fighting it, and I was being angry, and I was giving them my hatred. When you do that, you're giving them your power, okay? And that's what weakened me. That's what took all that out of me. So I kind of learned a lesson. And if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know what I would have done. I was freaking out, and you guys saw me. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I just, wanted to say that and show you the evidence, maybe give you something good to think about today. And you guys have yourselves a great day and a great rest of the week. This is Heavy T, and I'm out.